Spotlight on Bensenville. My name is Frank DeSimone, Village President and your host for this episode. Today we'll be discussing the Chicago Honor Flight and Law Enforcement Hockey Classic fundraiser with Jim Weinstein, who is our Vietnam veteran, and via Zoom we have Doug Melfley, Director of Communications for Honor Flight Chicago. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Doug, welcome via computer. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Frank.
So let's just jump in. Doug, your annual Law Enforcement Hockey Classic fundraiser is returning to our Edge Ice Arena, and we are excited as all can be. So can you share what Honor Flight Chicago does and its mission?
Yeah, so Honor Flight Chicago, we honor our senior war veterans, so veterans from World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War, with a life-changing one-day trip to Washington, D.C. to visit the memorials built in tribute to their service. This started 20 years ago, and it was a way for us to get our World War II veterans to the newly opened World War II Memorial, and it has since expanded to include Korean War veterans and Vietnam War veterans. And the tone is much more than taking them to see these memorials. Now it's our way as a grateful nation to finally give the thank you and the welcome home to these heroes that they did not get when they came home from service the first time.
So Doug, let me make this, let's get this straight. Honor Flight Chicago honors both men and women, correct?
Correct. In fact, last year we had at least one woman veteran on every single one of our flights.
Jim, as a Vietnam War veteran, can you tell us about your time in the service and the experiences that shaped you?
Well, I was a troubled youth. Senior year, not so good. I went to Roosevelt University, and after 2 semesters, they suggested I come back when I'm serious. So it was 1966. I decided, because there are a lot of former military in my family, I decided I needed to find out who I really was. So I said, I know, I'll join the Marines. And, I credit the Marines for really saving my life, because I was really headed for trouble. And they straightened me out pretty quick, and ended up doing 2 tours as an active duty, and 2 tours as active reserve. And I was doing that because they were paying for me to go to school.
Doug, how many honor flights have been organized from Chicago and nationwide to date?
Yeah, so we're proud to be the largest hub in the nationwide honor flight network. We've flown 119 times, and we've honored 11,433 senior war veterans in that time. Nationally, there are now 130 hubs all over the country, and collectively, last year we reached the 300,000 mark in veterans that we've honored in this fashion.
How can someone sign up, a veteran, or nominate a friend or relative for Honor Flight?
Yeah, so to be eligible to fly with us is really simple. A veteran just has to have served on active duty during World War II, Korean War, or the Vietnam War, which essentially encompasses from 1941 all the way through May of 1975. There are applications available on our website, or folks can call our office. Also, keep your eyes out at different veterans events, or your VFW Legion halls, your VA hospitals. We have representatives all over the Chicagoland area who are excited to sign up your veteran to fly with us.
Doug, Angie, I want to start with Doug first. Do you have any memorable stories from these honor flights that illustrate their significance for veterans and their families?
I tell you, every flight that I've been on, something has moved me to tears about the experience. And it's unique, it's personal to every veteran who's on the flight. One of my favorite bits of feedback we got last year was from a veteran who, after the flight, called us to say that he had never been able to talk about his service, not with his wife, not with his kids or his grandkids when they were born. But after having this experience of visiting these memorials and being surrounded by the love and respect and the gratitude that we provided, he felt free. He felt a weight lifted from him, and he was able to share about his service and sacrifice with his family, which not only was a gift to him, but a gift to his family, because they now knew what their father and grandfather and husband had gone through in the service.
Jim, how about you?
Well, my experience was interesting. The first time anybody thanked me for my service, I wanted to run away. I was embarrassed. But the honor flight, they really treated us like special people, and got to go to all the monuments, and I have 23 close personal friends on the wall, and I was there when it happened. So it's pretty intense. The first time anybody kept telling us, thank you for your service all day, all these volunteers in Washington and the ones that flew with us. That's pretty nice. And all the other veterans we got to talk to, you don't often get a chance to talk to people from so many different ways of life or so many different areas. And that was really interesting. It was, I was still walking with a cane, and I walked a little over 5 miles. They said, "You'll get in a wheelchair." No, I'm not getting in a wheelchair. But it was, and I'll put in a little plug, it was really great to see the Marine Corps silent drill team, because I was in the Marines 13 years. But it really started a progression of, hey, how do I get more involved now that I'm back, because you only fly once. And so I volunteered to go out to schools and talk to kids about what it's like to be in the military, but we tone it down. We don't share the bad stuff. And I go to veterans groups to talk to them to try to get them to sign up for Honor Flight. I think the last I heard, we had over 2,500 Vietnam veterans on a wait list, and it keeps growing. I mean, I don't remember how many we fly, but I think on an average 115 per flight, 7 flights a year. That, we take a good chunk out of that. And some people, when it comes their time, they can't make it because they're ill.
Doug, I know we do this quite a bit. We've done these shows multiple times, and I think one time you told me what really is moving is grown men crying when they get out there and they hear the gratitude for some of them the very first time, and they see the monuments and they see their friends and their fellow mates on the walls. I mean, that sticks with me the whole entire time.
It's so deeply emotional. And it's the fact that, because a lot of these veterans have been to the wall, or they've been to the moving walls that come through town time to time, but to be there surrounded by our love and gratitude, as Jim says, the volunteers shaking your hand at every stop to say thank you for your service. And we hear so often veterans say, and I knew they meant it. They were genuine about it, and that moved them even more so than just being at the wall by themselves. It was this support they felt from the nation for their fallen comrades who they're there visiting. And it's so deeply touching to see how we're able to move these warriors who sacrifice so much for us finally feel that gratitude that they've been missing in their lives.
What do veterans experience during the flights, and what makes the day so special for them, Doug?
It's a long day, but we make sure that it's well-paced and exciting. We have pomp and circumstance along the way. We travel in D.C. on luxury coach buses. We are on a chartered aircraft out of Midway to Washington. Often we'll have police escorts taking us from site to site. We always visit the World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam Veterans Memorial. We always end our day at the Udvar Hazy Air and Space Museum, which is on the campus of Dulles Airport. Lots of military aircraft there, lots of great fun stories, and kind of a release from the emotion of the day. But then, as Jim mentioned, sometimes we have the silent drill platoon there from the Marine Corps, or other special groups that perform just for our veterans to show their gratitude as well. And then on the flight home, we've got more surprises. And once we land back at Midway, we call it the welcome home of a lifetime. Over 1,000 friends, family, community members, scout troops, a brass band, just all sorts of folks come out to give a true welcome home parade to these veterans. And that really leaves them feeling so much energy after a really, really long day.
Doug, how can viewers support Honor Flight and get involved in its mission?
First thing is come to the hockey game on March 1st.
Absolutely.
we have a great time there. And not only do you get to see so many of our volunteers, but so many of our alumni like Jim are there, and you can visit with them and find out more about our program firsthand while enjoying a great night.
Guys, I hope you have a couple extra minutes. I have to take a quick break. Can you hang out for me?
Sure.
Doug, you all right over there?
I'm here.
We'll be right back after a short commercial break.
You're watching Bensenville TV, providing local government programming to residents 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, featuring board meetings, news, events, bulletin boards, and original programming about the services provided by our municipal government and affiliated organizations. Always on, offering community information anytime. To find out more, visit our website, www.bensenville.il.us. Live, learn, explore. Bensenville Community Television.
Hello, welcome back to Spotlight on Bensenville. My name is Frank DeSimone, Village President, and your host for this episode. Today we are discussing Chicago Honor Flight and the Law Enforcement Hockey Classic fundraiser with Jim Weinstein, Vietnam veteran, and via Zoom we have Doug Melfley, Director of Communications Honor Flight Chicago. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Thank you.
Doug, we're jumping right in. What are the opportunities for volunteering and how can people sign up to help?
So the best way to sign up is on our website at honorflightchicago.org. We've got a volunteer application there, and there's a list of all the different ways that you can get involved. The biggest and best way that most volunteers come to us is by coming to Midway on our flight days to help us all get processed and on the plane in the morning and then through the welcome home on the way back. But we also have volunteers who go out into their communities to help share about our mission and recruit veterans to fly. And then once you get involved in one of those two ways, there's a lot of other areas of our programming, including what we call Mission Never Forget, where we write birthday cards to veterans who are celebrating milestone birthdays, honoring our alumni. So you can find out much more there at honorflightchicago.org/volunteer.
Can you share one more time the website and contact information for those who want to learn more about getting involved?
Absolutely. honorflightchicago.org is the website, and our phone number to our office is 773-227-8387.
And I also understand Honor Flight Chicago is active on social media. What kind of content can people expect to find there?
We are. So you can follow along on our flight days on our social media platforms. We also share a lot of feedback from our veterans, pictures of them from the day and videos. We'll talk a lot about our different events that are out in the community. And we also have a very robust Operation Education program, and they have a great social media presence sharing about our veterans when they visit classrooms, but also different milestones and different pieces of history that we might have content on our website to share that can be used in learning about service and sacrifice in our country's history.
Doug, tell us about the upcoming event, which is here at the Address Arena in Bensenville. What can we expect?
So come early. The puck drops at 6 o'clock, but we're going to open the doors at 4:30. We last year started this family fun zone with all sorts of games and prizes, especially for our younger fans and families to play. And then we also always have a lot of great raffles and auction items to check out. Once the puck drops at 6 o'clock and you want to be there early for all of the, again, I love the phrase pomp and circumstance because there's a lot of it. Ceremonies on the ice will honor our veterans. The national anthem will be performed this year by Wayne Messmer. We're always excited to have him a part of our program. And then it's a competitive game. Chicago PD and the Chicago FBI, they get after it. And it's always spirited and fun. And, we're there to raise funds, but we're also there to watch some good hockey. And it's typically a good game.
Absolutely. Where can people purchase tickets for the 2025 Law Enforcement Classic?
The best spot is on our website, honorflightchicago.org. It's the number one thing you'll see. You also can call our office at that number, 773-227-8387, and we'll take care of you there.
Jim, is there anything else that you'd like to share about your experiences with Honor Flight Chicago?
It's probably one of the best things that I've ever participated in. It really motivated me to go out and work with kids. I love kids. I used to be an elementary principal back in the day. And I enjoy working with people in general. And I'm probably busier now than when I was working.
Again, Doug and Jim, I'm going to go with Jim first this time. Do you have any closing thoughts or messages for our audience about Honor Flight Chicago and its mission?
It's gratifying to me to see all the veterans being honored and the reaction they have. We were at Washington, D.C. at the opening ceremony in the World War II Memorial. I always cry when they play taps, always, because I've lost so many friends. So that whole experience is meaningful, and I've never heard of an alumni saying that they didn't like it, and it's really special.
Between Chicago and Washington, D.C., we have now over 1,000 active volunteers, and so many of them include our alumni like Jim. And to see the experience that Jim had on his flight, how it affected him, how he immediately came back and jumped in along with his wife, Helen, with both feet into our mission to continue paying it forward to other veterans, to his brother and sisters in arms. It is the most gratifying thing that I know I will ever do in my life, and I'm still a relatively young guy. So to have other folks that want to experience our mission and get involved, come out to the hockey game first and foremost, and we'll get you involved really, really quickly in what is just a very, very special program.
Can I add one thing?
Absolutely. You could add, this is your show. You can add whatever you want.
Oh, thank you. Doug didn't mention the fact I was on Flight 99 and 21, and Flight 98 was all women. So it was,
all right.
I think that was a special event.
It was.
One more time, Doug, we need to know where we can get your website, phone number, whatever else we can do. We need to sell tickets for this event.
We do. honorflightchicago.org is the website. Phone number is 773-227-8387. In addition to the general admission tickets you can get, we've got some premium tables you can sit at and a couple other different packages that you can buy. If you want to bring out a big group of folks, discounted tickets for groups of 10 or more. So gather your friends and come on out to the game.
Thank you so much, Doug. I appreciate it. I know you and I are probably going to work on some other things to promote this soon, I hope.
Yes, sir, Frank. Yes, sir.
Sir, thank you for your service.
Thank you so
for
much.
all that you've done for our country, all you continue to do for Honor Flight Chicago.
Thank you so much.
I always share the Nick story, my son, and I do it every show. My son was in 8th grade. We're running late to a flight. I turn around, I can't find my son, and what is my son doing? He's shaking everybody's hand who was dressed in military attire and thanking them for their service, and we almost missed our flight. But that's my family too. We respect you guys. We honor you guys, and I come out to this every year. I have 25 tickets. If anybody wants them, come get them. I got them for you. And I will see you out there for sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Doug, thank you very much. And thank you guys for joining us. And we'll see you next time, Spotlight in Bensenville. Good night.